Good morning. So sorry for these technical issues that we're presenting on AI, and look what is happening. So I am Anna Ivanova. I am an assistant professor in Natural Sciences Department, and I teach chemistry and physics courses. So thank you so much for presenting us. And today we all hear all these different controversial opinions, right, on the impact of AI on education. And today we wanted to share our experience with using the learning platform that is based on AI in our chemistry courses. So I apologize because of the technical issues. I cannot do the slideshow, so I will go slide by slide. So bear with me, please. See, even this doesn't work. Okay, so when our students come to take our general chemistry courses, of course, the course is very rigorous, but we also observe that our students, they kind of, they have some challenges. They experience some challenges when they come to these courses. And of course, the biggest challenge is that they lack actually general preparedness for the science courses, not only just chemistry, but in general for science courses, and severe lack of math preparedness, and lack of critical thinking and problem solving skills, lack of organizational skills, and the last one is lack of confidence and belief in their potential. So all of those challenges that they're facing, we are of course trying to as instructors, we're trying to help them to support them in overcoming these challenges. And of course, we use various techniques, various approaches, teaching approaches, like I'm sure every instructor does. But we also implemented in our classes, in chemistry classes, we implemented the assessments and learning system, which is web-based online from McGraw-Hill, which is called ALEKS. And it doesn't stand for the name of the person, which many people think it does, but it's easy to remember that way, I think, right? ALEKS. So it stands actually for Assessment and Learning in Knowledge Spaces. And we have started working with this platform since fall 2018. We started first with just 2 sections of General Chemistry 1, and we expanded now. Now we teach General Chemistry 1 and General Chemistry 2 with this platform. Now, ALEKS, of course, it's not your regular online homework platform. It's actually so much more than that, because for the big part of it, because of it's based on the AI. And it uses artificial intelligence, and that actually helps with the mapping of the knowledge of the student that has. And it's pretty much knows what the student knows and what the student doesn't know. It knows basically whether the student is ready to cover this topic and move on to the next topic or not, knows whether the student has mastered or learned the topic. We also love the very rigorous and open-ended questions. And in science, probably whoever teaches science, they know that we don't really like much the multiple choice maybe questions, but you would rather want to see the student showing their potential through solving the problem, open-ended questions. And it has very sophisticated answering kind of answer processing, because it allows pretty much real-time evaluation of the student's answer, and it helps and provides with immediate response and feedback to the student whenever it's necessary. So another feature that we also appreciate is that it uses adaptive and equitable approach, which means that it meets every student where they are. Every student comes with some set of background knowledge, and it's very different for everyone. But when they come and start working with ALEKS, when ALEKS asks a set of questions, it kind of identifies what the student knows and what the student doesn't know, so which helps then the student to get on their own personalized, individualized learning path. And then they kind of follow their learning path to the set goals for the course. And another feature that we also love is that we have the feature of virtual lab that is housed, embedded in ALEKS. We started using virtual labs during the pandemic, of course, and it was a separate, also from McGraw-Hill, but for separate platform. And now they moved this platform to ALEKS, so it's very convenient for instructor and for the student, especially when the student has all the assignments, and I will show later, all the assignments are in one place, lecture-based or recitation-based or virtual lab-based. And it's also, I can go on with all the benefits that ALEKS provides us with, but I want just to summarize in telling you that it actually supports, provides support for both for students and for instructors. And I will highlight a few of those in the next slide. So for instructors, we really like the fact that it has very easy to navigate platform, and it's very clear and organized and very informative platform. And the biggest kind of benefits of it, it has very detailed assessment reports. I think that's what every instructor wants to hear and loves to hear, that you can assess and see these reports. So here is just like some screenshots to show you how it looks like your typical kind of, page, part of the page for the instructor. So you have the class administration, your grade book, and reports, which I will speak on, and some assignments. You can pull any students from your class and check actually what is happening with that, with the progress for that student particularly. In class administration, there are several options as well that you can go through and check for the information that you need. And when you have gradebook, you can look at the gradebook of the whole class or particular student. And then the favorite part, of course, like I said, assessment reports. You can see various types of reports here. You can see how much time the whole class spent in total on all the assignments, or in particular on one specific topic or one specific question. You can see how each individual student works, how long these students spend time on this particular topic or that particular topic, or what kind of mistakes they make, and what kind of obstacles they see when they are working on this particular topic. And that actually helps the instructor to identify those specific problems that maybe the whole class is having. Like whoever is teaching chemistry, we know that the biggest issue is, especially when it comes to conversions. So that's the number one problem from the beginning. And you can see that when the students are working in ALEKS, you can see that that's the common problem. Or maybe later on in some other topics, you will see that some other topic is an issue. And you can address that with your students. So it helps very much instructors to be on top of kind of things with your class. And then you have custom reports, another beautiful feature. That means you can request a custom report, again, either on your individual class, on the individual student, or the whole class, or specific exam, homework, assignments, lab, anything, or several exams, or you want to see how they did in the several exams or in one particular question. So you just name it, and you can find anything that you really are interested in. And that helps a lot with assessment, whether you're doing the assessment for your class or for the course or for the program, if you are doing that, and includes this particular course. And here We have here just the screenshot to show you how easy you can create your course, because you can link your course to any book, even OER book. So it can be, you can find it in the list, whether it can be, you know, we're using the one that is from McGraw-Hill. Because we get the kind of the ALEKS 360 package in that way, but this way you see that you have the list of the chapters, and you can just click on each chapter and choose what topics you want to include in your course, and you just simply just drag them here, and you organize them in the way you want to organize them, like for example by module. So it can be chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter the way you want to name it. You can name it anyway, and then you assign the dates, the due dates, and you can edit them easily. You can extend them if necessary. Sometimes the class asks to extend that, or a specific student. And you also set some, you see here it's a specific kind of knowledge checks that I will also mention, that you assign when you want to make sure that the students learned this particular topic or this set of topics, and then you want to make sure they actually master them. So that's another kind of assessment. So it's a constant assessment that is going on within ALEKS. So the for students, every student starts with the initial knowledge check. An initial knowledge check is like a diagnostic test. So when they get to this, every student, no one can skip that. Sometimes they're like, oh, can I just skip that? No, you cannot skip that. You have to make sure that you will not be able actually to see your learning path unless you go through the initial knowledge check. And I always tell them that this is just between you and ALEKS. Be honest as much as you can. And if you don't know something, answer I don't know. If you know something, at least you answer the way you know, or if you know it perfectly well, then answer the way you know it perfectly well. So all these pieces of information ALEKS places in the pie that you can see here. So, and even from the initial knowledge check, they know something from math, it will go there. And they know something from chemistry already, maybe they know some elements. So it will go in that particular pie. So then after this set is like about 20-25 questions. And after the students go through this set, which is again individualized for each student, because this set of questions is just to test where the student stands. When the student needs to go through these specific topics, right? The sets for the goals for the course, but where the student is at this point, what is the prerequisite knowledge background that the student has? And ALEKS, using the AI, is testing, probing basically, do you know anything about stoichiometry? And maybe the student knows how to, let's say, balance the equations, but the student doesn't know anything beyond that. Or maybe the student knows some prefixes, but has issues with the converting. So ALEKS will basically then check, oh, you know that, I can give you something harder and see where it will take you. Or if you don't know that, let's step back and make sure we test what other topics you know that surround this particular kind of concept. So then there are, as I mentioned earlier, there are systematic knowledge checks, because knowledge check, sometimes when the student is covering, let's say, the topic and they did great, they learned it. But we all know maybe 2 weeks later, you ask a question from the same concept and topic and they have no idea, they forgot. And that means that the knowledge check will test that and will make sure that the student, to see basically how the student retained the material and how the student mastered the topics. And sometimes they, out of, let's say, 10 topics that the student perfectly well learned before and did 100% on that, then after the knowledge check, it shows that maybe the student, like one topic was not there yet. So the student needs to work on that. And ALEKS always gives this opportunity for the student to go through those topics that they are, let's say, they haven't mastered yet. And open pie mode is a wonderful feature that helps you when you assign as an instructor OpenPy mode, it opens all the chapters, all the modules. So the students sometimes get some topics locked for them. And that means that the ALEKS, again, because of the AI, ALEKS identifies that the student is not ready for that particular topic, is not ready to cover that topic yet. Because, for example, the student cannot do the stoichiometry because the student doesn't know how to balance the equation, or the student cannot convert from moles to grams because the student doesn't know what the mole is, right? So that ALEKS identifies that and then sometimes locks that that particular topic, but giving the student to work on some material that will help the student get to that topic that is necessary. And during the OpenPy, all the topics are open because sometimes the students work separately on that reviewing material and they are ready for these topics. So that helps students catch up on some material that they missed during the, let's say, learning path that they were working on this particular topic. So then there are plenty of resources. As you can see, the resources here, I just pulled one of them, which is, it's called, tell me more about ALEKS, and they can actually find it in the menu. They can just click on any hyperlink here to know what is knowledge check, why ALEKS gives me, let's say, knowledge check, or what is OpenPy. So they have all these questions answered. And also, as instructor, you can also assign some resources and link them to the specific topic. And when they are covering that topic, it pops up. Let's say you want to show them the video of titration, maybe, right? And then you can show that, link it to the titration topic. So another thing, just to show you how the typical kind of problem looks in ALEKS, and I mentioned earlier that the problems are rigorous because they require students to think critically and also to develop their problem-solving skills. And in many cases, they are very related very much to some real life problems. So they will, even in description, sometimes you can see that, let's say, a geoscience student is doing something, right? It's measuring this and that. So they already kind of connect this to the real life problems. And if the student doesn't know how to do this problem, the explanations are very, very detailed, very detailed. They are step by step, and it has a lot of information for the student to better understand and grasp the concept of this particular topic. This is just to show you how for the student or for you also for the instructor, it will look in the assignment list, because here you see the set of different assignments that are from the virtual lab, also from the lecture part, and sometimes we not the same professor is teaching lecture and let's say lab. So we share the let's say the lecture professor can give the full access to the lab professor, and then the lab professor also can place there the assignments. But for the students, it's convenient because the student doesn't need to run specifically to from one kind of platform to another. Everything is in one account. Everything is right there, and the student knows that this exam is upcoming, or this assignment is upcoming, or like we see, virtual lab tutorial or lab skills and so forth. And this is just to show that instructors have a variety of possibilities to upload their own also their own resources, as well as see the actually the available resources from McGraw-Hill over there. They can see different for different chapters, and you have a set of resources, which is very convenient. Now, with that, I would like to give a word to my colleague, Alison, who will talk about virtual labs.
Hi, everyone. So the virtual labs are really handy. They can be really useful as pre-lab assignments to help prepare students for what they're going to see in the real lab. For example, titrations, they get to practice trying to get, the best results, the lightest color of the color change, and knowing, how fast or slow to let the titrant out. and things like that. So then when they come to the lab, they know what to expect. They make fewer mistakes. Virtual labs are also good as post-lab exercises. Some of them are really good for reinforcing what they learn in lab. For example, how to make measurements. You teach them how to measure volume, looking at the bottom of the meniscus. We teach them about significant figures and how many digits to report each answer to. And then there are virtual labs where it tests them on that. And then just like in the regular modules, it'll let them know, hey, were you looking at this at eye level? Or, hey, you have the wrong number of significant figures. Are you sure about that? And so it helps to reinforce what they learned in lab and gives them immediate feedback with, specific reasons of why they made the mistakes. Each lab has its own, is its own kind of complete unit type of thing. So you can see it starts out giving the key concepts and an overview. So even if they haven't necessarily mastered the material needed for the lab in their regular modules, they can see what is necessary, what is needed to understand the lab here, and they can go back to it at any time. So here's an image of the virtual lab itself. So they have to, manipulate things and move things around. It also teaches good lab skills because you have to put things in the waste container before you move on. You have to zero the balance before you weigh something, for example. So it gives, a lot of reinforcement for good laboratory habits. And then again, with the calculations and everything, they have these detailed explanations for how to do the calculations, how to interpret the data with, made up data, and they have to then apply it with their own data.
Yeah, thank you. So just want to add that now that we have this combination of virtual labs and wet lab, right? It's really helpful. Some of the labs are used as a pre-lab, some of the labs are used as a post-lab, and to the wet lab sequence. And so that's something that we are we started after kind of coming back from pandemic. Now regarding the other ways that we use ALEKS, we provide the students with the free STEM boot camps in summer and in winter. It's a 3 weeks boot camps, and for general chemistry, we provide them also for, sometimes we do it for just anyone who wants to take chemistry. We use ALEKS basically for these 3 weeks, and the students who sign up for these boot camps, they can actually better prepare for their upcoming general chemistry 1 course. Sometimes we have students even coming from the other chemistry kind of the students who want to take other chemistry courses, like introduction, for example, to chemistry. We also tried it using in general physics course for the boot camp, and for that we use mostly the math prep for physics courses, because that's ALEKS doesn't, there is no ALEKS for let's say for the physics, but at least the math that is necessary for the physics, that's what usually students are struggling with, and we find it's really helpful. And with that, would like to thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, we are here to hopefully assist with those questions. Thank you. Yes.
So I think you mentioned that you started off with just a couple of courses where you were trying this. Have you looked at the outcomes? What are the outcomes of students who use ALEKS versus those who don't?
So we, in the very beginning, that was the kind of, we checked two sections we started working with ALEKS with the 2 sections only. And then in that case, the students, based on the students' actually feedback, that they really liked to work with ALEKS, and majority of them, they said that yes, although it's kind of sometimes a lot of information and it can be overwhelming, but they felt that they're more supported in that way. So we then expanded directly to the course that didn't have ALEKS. So right now, basically all sections have ALEKS so we embedded basically this
So
in
you're
our.
getting positive feedback from.
Yeah, majority of the feedback is positive. And, sometimes students would say that, yes, I don't like the fact that I have to work, for example, a lot, but then I also like the fact that it pushes me to work, so I know that I need that. So they realize that. And in the beginning, sometimes we hear that the students, most of the kind of situations that they are maybe in the beginning when they're not happy with it is because they don't know yet how to work with it. So once they understand how to work, how what is required, they kind of, they're already getting better. I don't know if you or Juan wants to add anything.
Yeah, and we've also been assessing over the last year or two, how the virtual labs impact
Right.
their, how well they do in, interpreting data and things like that.
Right. So in terms of like the virtual labs and even the coursework itself, I think, I teach chemistry at the college. So, one of the things that I always find a little frustrating, or at least I think the students might, is that it's a 14-week long semester, 12 experiments. And sometimes they're ready to move on to the next experiment. So are these in ALEKS, are they able to advance once they've completed material? Some students might want to advance to next week's material, or do they need to wait for it? Is it time-based so that materials are released on a weekly basis rather than when the student is ready to move on?
I think you can set it up if you want so that they can't access it, but the default, I think, is that they can.
They can. The thing is that it works. So sometimes also in the lecture, not only in the lab, in the just modules. For example, some of the students, they are more advanced, right? And they don't want to wait until you start something. So let's say the deadline is on this specific, you put the deadlines, right? You kind of assign the deadlines, but once the student, let's say, finished everything, completed everything by that deadline, the next question, that the next module will open up for the students. So they don't need to wait for you to open it. So that's why ALEKS kind of recognizes that the student is ready to go over those next questions. So it will keep, sometimes you will see some of the students are really very advanced. And by the end of the semester, when the majority of the class is still covering some of the topics, those students already got their 100%, they're done.
I had a student who completed the whole course by week 10.
But yes, they were late. Some of them get very excited, because they see the awards also, right? And then they see the pie filling up.
Right.
So it's really
The
very
invitation is
exactly, absolutely, yes, yes.
I just want to ask you two things. I guess it's simpler than his question. One is, so this does not replace lab experience, correct?
During the pandemic, it did, but since then, no, it's an additional. It's in place of maybe other pre-lab or post-lab exercises where maybe they fill out a worksheet, and instead of that, we have them do the virtual lab.
Okay, my second question is in terms of cost. So a regular chemistry book or whatever price versus taking the book with ALEKS, how much additional is it per student?
It's much, so that's why we have this, because we decided to go with this McGraw-Hill book because it says ALEKS 360, which has the textbook, which is inside the ALEKS, so in the platform. So with the one kind of package, which is probably even cheaper if they get separately ALEKS and separately virtual lab and separately, for example, the textbook. In this case, the textbook is embedded in there, virtual lab is embedded, so we get the package. So the student has
My third question or request is
I'm sorry, but
just one question now. This is very quick.
Okay.
It won't require anything. Where can we get the slides and your email addresses? I guess from the website?
I mean, I absolutely, we can also share, our emails. I can put it on the board here, so you can, and then probably the program, you should have it there as well. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, put them on.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely, and we can talk afterwards.
Actually, Professor
Thank you.
Sanchez, I believe, is putting it up there.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
That's great.
So feel free to move to your next session if you're staying here.
I'm staying here.
Thank you again for your attention.
And
Make
if you
sure
want
it's
to copy the email, if you have questions, Thank you.
Okay, just- Okay. So what
I need you to, I need that from them.
like this type of stuff presented for people.
It is all on the top of that.
And I'll talk to you Monday about it all.
Yeah, this is-
So, and I can tell you, I was really about both things. Okay, right, right. And the- but it's- but it's-
I have to make sure that I need to.
I'll bring this out. So,
Yeah.
That's just a quick question. Have you guys considered virtual reality? Actual virtual reality?
That would be cool. Actually, I think some things might exist somewhere in earth science. Actually, they do virtual reality labs where they can.
I'm working on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your help.
Right, what she said.
Yeah, kind of this area.
So it has to be right in front here.
Yeah, so the